Welcome to Pour the Wine. It's Rom-Com Time, where we'll sip some wine and review all things rom-com on the Hallmark Channel. I'm Amy.
And I'm Garry.
And
I'm a pouring.
you're a pour in the cab.
Yes, I am.
Today, we're going to be reviewing the Groomsmen Second Chances. It aired on the Hallmark Channel on Saturday, September 13th, 2025. But it originally aired on Hallmark Plus on October 24th, 2024.
Yes,
it is streaming right now, still on Hallmark Plus.
Woohoo.
Woohoo.
We would love it if you would click that follow button on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss any of our episodes. If you listen on Apple or Spotify, you can also leave us a review, and hopefully it's a positive one.
We hope so.
Or you can leave us stars.
Stars and reviews. Reviews
as long
with
as
stars.
they're gold stars.
As long as they're gold.
You can also find us on YouTube and all social media.
Send us an email at pourthewineitsromcomtime@gmail.com and let us know what you think of the Groomsmen movie so far, or maybe you watched all three.
Yes.
Last fall on Hallmark Plus, or just send us an email about anything Hallmark related. We'd love to hear from you.
We sure would.
Yes.
And we talk about it on the podcast.
Yes, we will. We might.
So, you want to tell us who's in this one?
Well, most of the crew from First Look returns in this movie in Second Chances, so we won't rehash all of those actors and their work. But if you would like to hear more detail, you can go and listen to our review of First Look.
Yes.
Because we go into detail towards the beginning of that podcast.
We sure
But
do.
I will talk about a few new actors that we saw in this.
Yeah, we did get a couple new ones, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a few. Adam Rice Charles plays Nolan. He has 4 acting credits, and this is his only Hallmark work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Sue Kelvin plays Ophelia. She is actually from the UK, so she had a lot of UK work on her IMDb, but this is also her Hallmark premiere.
That's awesome.
Andreas Karas, hopefully I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, he plays Konstantinos. For Hallmark, he was in Love's Greek to Me and The Wedding Veil Journey.
Oh, wow. Awesomeness.
Yeah.
And that's it? That's it for the new ones?
Well, that's it for the new faces that we saw in this film.
All right. Well, The Groomsmen Second Chances was directed by Ron Oliver. Ron has nearly 100 directing credits and has directed a ton of Hallmark movies, including all 3 Groomsmen's movie, To Barcelona with Love, To Barcelona Forever.
Which we loved.
Which we really loved.
We loved both of those.
The Wedding Veil Journey, A Timeless Christmas, and Christmas Everlasting.
Ooh, A Timeless Christmas. That's the one with the clock, right?
Right.
Where
I believe so.
Aaron Cahill's like the, I don't want to say host, but like a tour guide of the house, right? And then, I think it's Ryan Peavy.
The story was written by Rick Garman. He has written a ton of Hallmark movies, including First Look, the Cherry Lane films, Falling Together, Groundswell, A Shoe Addict's Christmas, and Frozen in Love.
Shoe Addict's Christmas was cute too.
That's an interesting name.
Candace Cameron, remember?
Yeah. Vaguely, maybe.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think Jean Smart's in that one too.
Oh, Jean Smart.
Or she works at the department store. Remember?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I think.
On IMDb, Greg Baldwin and Jonathan Bennett are credited with creating the characters. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
There's some good characters.
Yeah. They're
Greg
really good characters.
is credited with writing First Look and Last Dance in this series. He also wrote The Holiday Sitter and Wedding of a Lifetime, both of which star Jonathan Bennett.
They must be friends, huh?
I think so.
Yes.
That's cool, though.
That is cool.
Help each other out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm about.
Hey.
And Jonathan, with the focus here on his writing, Jonathan has 4 credits, all Hallmark. He wrote First Look and Last Dance, and as previously mentioned, gets credit in this one for creating the characters. He also co-wrote The Holiday Sitter with Greg.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
That is.
Good for them. And I saw their names. I think I should have looked that up at the beginning as producers too. I think I saw Jonathan Bennett's name, or like co-producer.
Right.
And Tyler Hines. I think that's great when they get involved in all aspects of it.
Yeah.
You know, if it's your creation.
Well, it also makes it more realistic, the acting, because they're so comfortable around each other that it just...
Oh, you mean because they work together and they all know each other?
Yeah.
And yeah.
So
the true friendship really comes across on screen. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So is it time to drop the synopsis?
It is time. Danny finds the courage to admit his romantic feelings for his best friend when he is asked to be the best man at his wedding in Greece. That kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Oh, man.
That gives it away a little bit. Spoiler alert.
Well, it's
Speaking of spoilers.
I know, right? It's that time in the podcast where we tell you, if you have not seen this particular movie, stop this podcast, go watch it, the movie come back.
Yes.
And guess what? Listen, tell us what you think.
Yes.
Because we will drop spoilers.
Pause here, play to the movie, and then come back and push play. Or finish listening to this podcast and then go watch the movie because you're so intrigued.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Because we break it down, people.
We break it down. Well, we don't recap it, but we do a review.
All right. So what was your first take on this?
My first take. Oh, gosh. I just want to start with Jonathan Bennett because he just freaking owned this movie.
He sure is.
I don't care. I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that.
No. I was going to go, he sure as Hall did.
Hall did.
You get it?
Yes. Well, he just, we've known he can bring the quirky, the funny, and we've seen him in some not serious roles, but he tones it down for the serious. But he really brings it all in this movie. Like he can do the over the top humor, but man, those serious moments in this one when he's tearing up and he just really brings it in this film. And I thought it was just fantastic. I mean, I really enjoyed the location, the blending of the humor and the serious moments. I mean, it just totally worked for me.
It sure did.
The film did. So
yeah, I agree with you.
What was your first take?
I too thought Jonathan brought it. Mm-hmm. Because I look at him as a kind of a comedic actor, but those serious parts, I teared up.
Yes, I know.
I didn't even use the excuse that something was in my eye. I mean, he brought it. Kudos to him, man, because that's a true actor right there.
Yeah, he really, really did. And just, all the feels in this one.
But I do like me a destination wedding.
I know.
And Greece.
We're getting
that's
a couple
one of the
them.
good spots, right?
Right.
Beautiful scenery.
Beautiful. Yes.
Man, I just couldn't believe it. I love the water. I love all the
blue.
houses and stuff on
it's like the white against the blue water.
Man.
Just beautiful scenes in this film.
And the chemistry between Danny and Zack. I mean,
Danny. Oh, yes. I had to think for a minute. I thought you were going between him and the friends, but no, you're right. You're right.
No,
the chemistry was really there between the two of them.
Very, very evident.
And they had so many palpable moments throughout it, which I thought was great, and, we can talk about it, the same sex couple. I mean, we don't see that that frequently on Hallmark or in general, really, I mean, it's more, I guess
being
in TV
the focal
shows,
point of it
right.
all.
TV, did I say TV shoes? I don't know what I just said. I've had one sip of wine. I don't know what I just said.
Sure,
TV shows, we're seeing it. And of course, some movies. But for Hallmark, I just thought it was really well done. And, you're watching a couple like any other romantic film or rom-com.
Right.
And that's the way it felt. It didn't seem different.
Right.
Although it was representative and I get that, but that's how well done it was. I mean, love is love is love, right?
That's correct.
You're attracted to who you're attracted to, who you're attracted to.
The heart loves who the heart loves.
Right. And I thought it was great.
Yeah. And who doesn't like a good baseball?
Analogy, movie, film. Where are you going with that?
The metaphors of all.
I wish we had video because your hands were like, do you know what I'm saying? You're moving your hands.
Like everybody can see what I'm doing. It's probably
I've done
a good
that
thing
too.
that you
I've
don't.
done that too, though.
But I just love the way Danny brought him. It was pretty funny. And last, I just have to say Tyler Hynes.
Oh, boy.
Tyler Hynes.
Yes.
I believe would play a good James Bond.
Are we going there again?
Yes,
my gosh, are we going to say that? Not that I don't think you're right.
Can you imagine him?
James Bond. But they would have to Hallmarkify. Like it has to be
cool.
a Hallmark version of James Bond where he's cool and serious, and then dry sense of humor,
right.
but solves a mystery.
Yeah.
That's what we need from him.
Yeah. Can you imagine a Bond wearing some rings all
we got to come up with a different name. Like it's the James Bond of Hallmark, but I don't know what the name could be. It could be any name.
Hallmark. Come up with a story. This would be great.
It would be really good.
I think it would be so fun to do.
Yes.
Throw in Andrew Walker, and man, you got a great movie.
Oh boy, okay.
Yeah, come on. All those
it would
guys
be cool.
together.
What about Paul Campbell? You leaving him out now?
No, I said all those guys. I think it would be a really kind of cool movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Here for it.
Enough of that, okay?
Okay.
Let's move on to favorite scenes.
All right. What you got? You go first. Favorite scene? Number 1.
I just like the batting cage scenes.
Yeah, they're
it's kind of everybody has an outlet to release stress.
Yes.
And I think the batting cage is probably one of the better ones.
Yeah.
And when Jonathan or Danny is in the cage and he's trying to convince himself that, it's not a subconscious thing, that he's friends with Zack. He doesn't have these feelings for
what
him.
is he saying as he's like...
he's swinging. And he's talking about, we are friends, not what does he say? Not subconscious, but we are fine.
And he's swinging
and he's swinging and he's
hitting,
missing and he's swinging and he's
hitting. Yeah.
Oh God, I just.
But he was hitting too. I think one of them he hit. Yeah.
I'm impressed, man. That's
and I wonder if Jonathan Bennett is a big baseball fan. Like I meant to look that up just to see if he is like a baseball
fanatic
or played when he was younger or
he looks like whatever. He can hit a ball. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So what about you? What's one of yours?
I like out of the gate the runner. We have this runaway bride, although she's probably not running away. She wants to get married because she has said that. So we have it again at the beginning, and the groomsmen show up at the bar and they want to go in, but the owner of the bar is like, she's not here, you can't come in.
Right.
And then we hear each of them speak, and it sounds like each of them, but it sure doesn't look like them.
It does not. From behind.
So I'm like, it's got to be
their kids.
And we have not watched the third one yet.
No, we have not.
So we're just guessing. So we're thinking it's like the kids.
All grown up.
Well, one of them, we should get into that later.
Okay.
Who I think one of them is, and then the other two, and then who the bride is.
Yeah,
so
we can do that.
Which we kind of get maybe some hints. Maybe we're totally off base. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
but anyway, that's still one of my favorite scenes because you have this romance, you have this friendship story, but then you also have this sort of mystery that you are trying to figure out. So it's really cool.
Right.
I'm just really digging it. Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see how far in the future this is.
Yeah.
So another one of mine was
where the runaway bride. Right.
Yeah. Another one of mine is when Zack tells Hannah, Danny's sister, that Nolan and he had broken up. And she was all like, "Oh, you don't have to worry. I won't say a thing." And then the next scene, they're at Hannah's Chelsea and Pete's wedding, and they're dancing, and she's sitting there telling Danny everything about.
She's saying a thing. Even though she said she wouldn't say a thing. She's saying a thing. Quiet. But it's like, what, a week or two? Or it was like a week later, right?
Yeah.
She says, he told me last week.
Yeah. I just thought that was cute.
That was cute. I really liked the dancing scenes between Danny and Zack. Mm-hmm. So, towards the beginning, of course, Zack gets invited to Hannah's wedding because Danny's date, did they break up or he...
Yeah, didn't work out.
Right, so that's how Zack ends up there, And then so we're at Hannah's wedding. We see some different angles at Hannah's wedding, and we can see Pete and Chelsea dancing
in the hallway.
Behind Zack and Danny. I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah, me too.
And then I just like the continuity. We got some time framing, some continuity of things, which I thought was really, really great. And then, again, at the wedding, at Chelsea and Pete's wedding, Danny and Zack dance again, right? So I just thought that was, and that's when Danny finds out that Zack asked Nolan to marry him, and they have sort of this serious moment. But the way they're looking at each other, is just, oh no, wait, I'm sorry. He tells him that's why they broke up, right? Because Zack tells Danny that he and Nolan have broken up because he asked Nolan to marry him.
And he said no.
Right. And then I liked when Danny said to Zack, sometimes you pull back when you're with him.
Right.
And Zach's kind of like, what do you mean? And he's like, you laugh less when you're with him. And laughter was a big deal to Danny, which, I'll talk about a little bit later. But I just thought it was a pretty intimate, that was one of the intimate moments between the two of them and the way they're looking at each other. I thought it was great. Even though they're discussing the fact that he wants to marry someone else, there's still that chemistry in that moment.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So,
and let's just talk about Alexander Lincoln.
Yes.
Zack.
Yes.
That dude can talk with his eyes.
Yes, he was really good.
He was really good. I think he's going to be a big addition to Hallmark's men. I mean, he really played that part well.
He did.
With Jonathan. So another one of mine was when, I guess it was a bachelor party. I don't know, when they went to the rock climbing. Yes,
I have that as one of mine too. Well, that was supposed to be the bachelor party.
Right. And I thought it was so funny because Danny he knew that Nolan was afraid of heights. You could see Zack was like, are you doing this on purpose? And then Pete comes to...
Well, I don't know. Zack was kind of like, I don't know if he just was playing dumb or, I couldn't really tell.
Well, when they had started climbing and they came to a point where they stopped.
Danny and Zack. Zack
had said, no, come on. Did you really forget that?
Oh, yes, he did.
He has a fear of heights. And then
look at you.
And then Danny was getting ready to, confess his love for Zack. When again Nolan comes up the side and he's like, "Hey,"
and Danny's like, "I thought you were afraid of heights. Guess it's cured."
I guess it's cured. And then Danny ends up being the last one to make it to the top, and he buys the first drinks, right?
Right. Well, so Danny had started to say, "Well, as a matter of fact, I didn't. I wanted a chance to talk to you."
Yeah.
It's like, just ask him.
I know. And throughout the movie, it was always like that. It was like he was getting ready to confess his love for him, and then Nolan would pop up out of nowhere. So, poor Danny.
I liked all the FaceTime and in-person moments between the three friends.
Yes.
They just all were so great. Like when they're poolside and they're in the loungers and they have their shades on. And, Danny finally admits to them that he has feelings for Zack, which of course they have known and tried to encourage him, to tell him. And, Danny's like, I'm scared to tell him. So they're convincing him, you need to talk to Zack. You need to talk to Zack.
Right.
You need to let him know before it's too late.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, I just love those scenes, right? So they're in the lounge chairs. And then another FaceTime where I think Danny, it's when they're already in Greece.
Right.
And the three of them are talking. And Pete asked Danny, like, do you have your spreadsheet? Because Danny's planning the wedding.
Oh, yes.
And Danny says, what spreadsheet? And Jackson's like, you happy? He's going to have to go lay down now, because Pete is so organized and spreadsheets. And so I just thought, and Danny is a character just kind of fly by the seat of his pants. Right. He doesn't plan anything. So I thought that was really cute and really funny.
Which is interesting for being somebody that has a manager,
Oh, right. And then that's when they ask him, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm great. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. The world's on fire, but it's fine.
Although he does get his spreadsheet.
Well, eventually.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Pete calls, the scene where Pete calls Danny when Danny's in Greece and they're like, have you gotten into trouble today yet? And he's like, not yet or whatever. And then they show up and Pete and Jackson and Betty are there. And then the three of them start talking over drinks. And now you're at the point where Zack is getting married and Danny hasn't told him how he felt about him.
Right.
And now it's too late. Right. So he's sitting there contemplating. He's like, what if I could just, and they're like, no. What if
right.
Maybe I could just, they're like, no, they're trying to keep him, which I thought is great as friends. And it, of course, reminded me of the Uncle Buck scene.
Right.
Where
that's true.
Where John Candy is talking to his girlfriend on the phone and he's trying to tell her he can't show up for the job. And he does the, if I did, it was sort of like that scene. I thought that was really cute. And then, of course, the bar scene, it's Danny Pete and Jackson.
Yeah.
Right. And Danny's upset. He says he doesn't want to talk about it. Then Jackson sits down. He doesn't want to talk about what's going on with him, and then I think Pete comes up. Does he come up at that point? Right. And then Danny's like, I'm going to talk about just this one thing, and then they're like, oh, thank God, because they want somebody to break the ice. Right. Yep. And then that's when, what Danny says that they almost kissed.
Right.
He and Zack almost kissed. And they're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, because up to that point, they were trying to keep him from telling Zack and ruining the wedding.
Right. Because it was too late because Zack had already proposed to someone else. Mm-hmm. Well, they had tried to convince him to do it beforehand.
Right.
And then he did. And they kept saying, and that's one of my cheers too, is just that, I know we're getting ahead, but that they were trying to say what you feel. Even if you get rejected, at least you put it out there, know.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree
so,
with you 100%.
And then, Pete explains that he spent his life not taking chances. And they're saying that the almost kiss changes things because now they realize Zack probably has feelings for Danny.
Yep.
And that there's something there that he might be able to capture, if he doesn't wait any longer.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
So, and that's when we find out that Pete had moved to Bulgaria.
Yeah. Yeah. And we get a little hint of
from the narrator.
Jackson's going to be doing too.
Right.
He talks about how this is a father-daughter trip because she's now moving to Italy
with her mom,
with her mother. And and Pete and Danny were like, what?
What? She's moving to Italy, which is where the next
one's
movie's going to be,
go.
Right? Yeah. I think.
Can we just take a minute and talk about Jackson's inability to work out?
Yes, there's yet another. Was there just one in this one?
Yes.
I think, yes.
He's sitting on where the dumbbells are.
Yes, I have that down as a cheer. Yet another scene where he's eating.
Yes.
In the gym.
And he is just so, and he makes it look so cool.
Yeah, right? And hence the,
so
James
funny.
Bond.
So funny.
But yeah, it was funny. Another scene and Danny and Pete are working out and he's just sitting there and they're all talking. Right. Yeah, that was really good.
That was a good scene. So you want to move on to cheers?
Any other one more favorite scene, of course, the wedding at the very end, especially the vows.
Oh, I got that as a cheer.
It was just a beautiful moment. Okay, I'll hold off on that, but that's one of my other favorite scenes, that wedding scene. All right. So let's get into cheers.
Okay.
And I had a lot more scenes I could talk about, but we only have so much time. So
I know so many good scenes.
Right. We just okay.
All right, you go first.
One of my biggest cheers is I really think the two films that we've watched so far, and I'm sure the third one will be the same, but they've done such a great job at balancing the friendships and the romances. Yep. It's not heavy one side or the other. And I mean, of course, Hallmark, we love the rom-coms. We love the romance part of it. Right. And usually, that's the focus, and sort of the friendships are the sideline, the family's kind of the sideline a little bit. But I just really, I think these films do a great job of balancing both. It's almost like equal time.
Right.
Like we're feeling the friendships and we're also deep in the romance part.
Yeah.
Like, I think.
Yeah, I agree. This one was definitely deep in the romance.
Yeah. So I just think they've hit a really good stride of showing real life and that friendships and romances and all of it just goes hand in hand. So that's one of my biggest cheers. Do you have one?
Yes. Talking about say what you need to say before it's too late. The scene where they're at what you call the ruins, and Danny comes walking down the stairs, and he's like, "Stop the wedding!"
Oh yeah,
and it's at nighttime. There's no one there other than Zack, who's sitting at the altar,
like the altar.
And Zack is like, "What? What are you talking about?" And Danny goes on to talk about, well, I wish I would have broken in through the doors and stuff like this. Yeah. And this is where Danny tells him how he feels, which I thought was great. Yeah. But this was I gave her my heart. She gave me a pin moment.
Yes, it definitely was.
Because Danny tells Zack that he loves him, and Zack says something to the effect that if you really were my best friend, you would keep those doors closed. You wouldn't bust them open. And I thought that was a really good line, but I really appreciated that Danny came and said, "This is my last chance. I'm going to say it. Screw it. Whatever happens, happens."
Well, yeah, he just puts it all out there, right?
Yeah.
And and then I like, because Danny's like, not telling you was the stupidest thing I've ever done, and
Right.
you not telling me was the stupidest thing you've ever done.
Right.
So here you are, and that's he put it all out there, and then Danny's face when he realizes Zack is not there for it at that moment.
Right.
Yeah, that was a really good,
Really good moment.
You got to say what you feel, and your reference, in case people don't know, I gave her my heart. She gave me a pin. What is that in reference to?
Say Anything.
Say Anything with John Cusack. Yes.
Yes, a great movie.
A great 80s film, right?
Yes.
I wanted to put that out there in case people were like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't know, go watch it.
Yes.
Okay.
Because we don't want to
Classic
give you
80s
the
film.
spoilers.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have any other cheers?
We would totally give a spoiler.
know,
What are you
right?
talking about? Another cheer.
Mm-hmm.
The weaving of the narration. We've talked about this before. I think we're getting hints along the way
Right.
about what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She said some things like Pete working in Bulgaria, and the bartender's like, or the owner of the bar is like, he moved to Bulgaria, and she's like, for a time. So we know it. He doesn't stay in Bulgaria, right? And then there's something else where she talks about when Zack, Elizabeth explains to the bar owner
Katie.
it Katie? Okay.
Yeah.
That Zack broke up with Nolan because Katie's like, what happened with Nolan? And he said, well, he let him know, and Nolan was a decent guy, and he was upset, but he handled it well, which I thought was kind of cool. He didn't just like storm off or anything.
Yeah, they kind of closed.
So we kind of get the
Mm-hmm.
closure of that. And then she says, he went home, and then years later he ended up marrying a weatherman or something.
And having 4 kids, yeah. And plus, he won his big case that he was on.
So now we know it's years later.
Right.
Right. So we've gotten that hint there. So I just like that. And it's not too much, but it's enough throughout it that it's sprinkled throughout. And I really like that.
Yeah, me too.
Any other cheers?
Yeah, another one for me was the cliff jumping scenes. Yeah. At the beginning, near the beginning of the movie, Danny wanted Zack to jump off with him.
Right.
Just to kind of relieve the stress and
do something spontaneous.
Right. And Zack almost did it, but was afraid of heights and said no. But later on in the movie, during the wedding, Danny disappears, but Pete and Jackson know exactly where he is, so they go to the cliff jumping spot, and of course that's where he is. And then here comes Zack running down.
That was a great scene.
And the back and forth of that's when he was telling them to be spontaneous, take off your tie,
right?
And and they're going back and forth, kind of yelling at each other.
Well, they're yelling like, you're the most, you plan everything. And they're screaming at each other, but not in a way that they're like angry. They're just kind of getting out how they feel about one another.
Right. And then they grab hands and they jump off.
Yes.
And I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. I thought that was great. It's like a metaphor for them jumping off the cliff together and going for it. Yeah. Right. Because that was towards the end. We talked about it. Another cheers, the location shoot. Yeah. Greece looks beautiful. And as luck would have it, I have a friend who just went and had posted some pictures on social media, and I was showing you. To me. Yeah, they're beautiful. And I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. I mean, literally, her and her family just went, and it just looked, it looks beautiful. Yes, that might be one place I might like to go sometime. Yeah.
We sure will.
I really liked, they talked about laughter throughout the whole thing. That was sort of a theme, and how important it is in relationships, and you have to be able to laugh at things and not take things so seriously. And I think that's really important in life. You and I laugh a lot. Right. We have a really good time. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. We have some arguments. Oh, but we do laugh a lot and just enjoy things together. So I appreciated that theme throughout the whole thing.
And I also liked the supporting cast. The supporting cast was awesome in this one. What was her name? Ophelia?
Yeah, she was so great. Yeah.
And Konstantinos.
I
guess that's who was her husband, and in the end they made up.
Yeah, I'm not really.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure. Probably, yeah, like they were exes or something, and then got together. But she was really good too because she's the one who told Zack, like she pointed out how much she could see that Danny was in love with him, and he was like, "What? We're just friends," And she's like, "Well, you're opposite, but you're very similar, also." So she kind of was instrumental in that. And I like that she was like a food blogger or cook, and that's kind of, I guess, is what Jackson does.
Right.
I don't know if he does the social media or if he helped get her book published or what, but he knew her. And
he knew her.
So that was pretty cool. Yeah. And, another cheer for me, like I mentioned before, is the continuity of the films so far.
Yeah.
We've watched other trilogies and we've made note, and I've even said, where are we in the timeline? Like, I don't understand. We had a ball, but then it's not at the, like, I've been confused before, but this second movie was just really so good in giving you the moments that you'd already seen and then adding in some.
Right.
So I'm guessing we're going to hopefully start at the same point in the third one.
Right.
Maybe, possibly. And
at
then
Katie's Tavern.
Yeah. So what do you think? There was one moment in this movie towards the beginning, and I think it was at the wedding. I'm not sure if it might have been at Pete and Chelsea's wedding where we see Betty and Milo kind of bump into each other.
Right. Yeah, that's the correct scene.
Okay. They kind of bumped into each other and they seem annoyed and they and I'm like, it's gotta be them.
Yes.
They have to be. I think Milo is one of the groomsmen. Mm-hmm. And I think the other two are children of Pete and Danny.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
Danny and Zack.
And they're all best friends, like they're three best friends.
Right.
And so I don't know. That's my gist. And I think the bride is probably Betty.
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out. I mean, I don't know. And then there's a point where with the narration where Jackson says, well, there's a part where Jackson says the father-daughter trip before mom, which you brought up, moves to Italy. And that's where the next film takes place. And the narrator, Elizabeth, says, because the Kate, is it Katie or Kate?
It's Kate.
Kate, she says something like, oh, they moved to Italy or something. And the narrator, Elizabeth, says, yeah, I skipped some things. So there's more there too.
Right.
I don't know. I just think we're getting these hints throughout the movies, and I'm not smart enough to catch them all. So,
it was good.
Yeah. So, and then my final, which I think I said the continuity would be my final cheer, but my other final cheer is like we talked about earlier, the different scenes that there were just big romantic moments between Zack and Danny. I just thought they really worked. They were really emotional. I enjoyed them.
Especially the vows.
Yeah, the vows. And there's one I didn't mention when Zack is thanking Danny for everything. He's like, not just the wedding, but for everything, for being my best friend. Mm-hmm. You were the first person that saw me for something more than a suit and a briefcase, and then Danny cracks a joke because that's what he does. And then, they're kind of talking on a patio and you can hear the water lapping up. I just thought that scene was so great. And then Zack, says he has no family, but Danny has his friends and his sister. And then Danny's like, but I've got you. And that's when he's tearing up again. Right. And I'm like, oh, my heart. It just worked so well.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
So out of 5 corks, how many would you give this one?
I would give this one a 4.5.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you too? Samers. Yes. I really enjoyed it. I like that. I'm looking forward to the third one because I'm intrigued. I really want to know, who that bride is that's sitting in that bar, who's been doing the narrating, and who the 3 groomsmen are. I want explanations.
Me
and
too.
Like you said, the third one, what is it? Last Dance?
Yep.
The Groomsmen Last Dance. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And that will be the movie for Tyler Hines.
Yes, it will be.
Your James Bond of Hallmark.
All right. So is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
Okay, if you really, really like the show, we would really, really appreciate your positive review on Apple Podcast or Spotify.
Yes, we would.
And if you didn't really, really like the show, we'd still appreciate your positive review.
Yes, we would. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts and on social media so you don't miss a thing. Until next time, cheers.